Floyd Wallace misses court date. What happens next? Fans of YouTuber Floyd Wallace had an unexpected treat on Tuesday evening as the supposed-to-be jailed YouTuber revealed that he was still free after missing his Tuesday court date. Wallace explained that he had overslept and had missed his opportunity to make it to court on time Tuesday morning when he found out that all courts in Cleveland County, Oklahoma, were closed on Tuesday due to severe weather in the area. The YouTuber's story makes little sense under scrutiny, as the trip takes 5.5 hours by car and Wallace was scheduled for court for 8 a.m. local time. If he was taking a Greyhound bus, the single route offered in Norman, Oklahoma, leaves at 7:25 a.m. and gets to Norman at 8:49 p.m. most days. He would have had to spend the night in Norman at a hotel to presumably sleep in. Wallace didn't pause long enough to linger on his actual story, as he was just happy that the court had been closed on Tuesday. While briefly wondering if there was a warrant for his arrest, as he didn't check in with the court, he claimed that he had heard that his case was rescheduled for February 25, 2025, though he wasn't sure of the date or time. Oklahoma's court website was its usual shade of unhelpfulness on Wednesday morning, offering no updates to the docket. Wallace himself didn't seem to care as he went into a rant about needing a new audience to replace his current audience. The YouTuber acknowledged that his audience no longer has the resources or desire to fund his sex tours of South America and the Far East. While he was successful in fundraising for a check bag last week before his flight to the United States, he began to brainstorm about growing his audience. After a donation, he opened a panel with a fan named Unfriendly Stoic. Wallace announced that he was giving up his current apartment to cut costs while he was in jail and when he was overseas. He said he could no longer afford to pay $1,000 for rent in an apartment he never used. He was unclear on where he would stay once his prison time was up, but indicated he was in the process of moving out of the apartment. After another super chat, Wallace admitted that he is making $2,500 per month off of all of his YouTube channels. Unfriendly Stoic asked Wallace about hiring an editor to help produce his backlog of videos. Wallace said that he could no longer afford to hire a freelance editor based on his current levels of pay, especially when he was saving for another overseas tour. He repeated his previous claims that he was tired of going places where most of the women he encountered did not speak English. The pair discussed Wallace possibly returning to Thailand or the Philippines, with Stoic claiming that Wallace could always take a job teaching English in Vietnam, which would bring him an endless supply of young women. Wallace balked at the idea of getting a job, switching the conversation towards his belief that Brazil is a racist country that hated black men before ending his live stream for the night. YouTuber Wallace has yet to reopen his ongoing GoFundMe campaign to fund his previous trip to Asia. The market closed on Tuesday with a $180 donation to our own ongoing expenses account to take the day.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.